ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
New tonight, a sad update to yesterday's riots in Washington, D.C. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick has died from his injuries. The department says he was hurt yesterday while engaging with protesters. He returned to the division office where he collapsed. He died in the hospital from his injuries this evening. Law enforcement says that more than 50 officers were injured in the rioting. Several have been hospitalized with serious injuries. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Now, this comes hours after President Donald Trump addressed yesterday's violent and deadly siege at the nation's capital. In a far different tone from recent comments, the president denounced the angry mob, but did not take any responsibility for the destruction that ensued. As ABC's Andrew Dimbert reports, the president also effectively conceded the election, but some lawmakers are moving to oust him before the inauguration.
After Wednesday night's disgraceful display, President Trump finally responding, releasing a video on Twitter now condemning the same angry mob that was fueled by his own words.
To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
But it was swarms of angry, violent, Trump-supporting extremists who surged toward the seat of American democracy after hearing these very words from their leader.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol because you'll never take back our country with weakness.
And now, for the first time since losing the election to President-elect Joe Biden, President Trump himself finally acknowledging he lost.
My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power.
Even with just a dozen days until Trump hands over control of the White House to Biden, Democrats in Congress are calling for Trump to go, urging Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment and remove the president from office by vote of his cabinet, claiming he is mentally unfit for office.
And by inciting sedition, as he did yesterday, he must be removed from office. While it's only 13 days left, any day can be a horror show for America.
Otherwise, Democrats say Trump should be impeached for inciting the violence, putting the blame for the breach squarely on his shoulders. And now we are learning just how dangerous the situation was. 5 firearms were recovered, including a military-style assault rifle, 2 powerful and functioning pipe bombs, as well as 11 Molotov cocktails authorities say were, quote, ready to go. And there may be national security risks as well. Federal prosecutors saying today a trove of items stolen include potentially sensitive documents. As for those efforts to remove Trump from office, experts say invoking the 25th Amendment or impeachment are unlikely to be carried out to conclusion. There's just not enough time left in Trump's presidency. Meanwhile, sources also tell ABC News that the president has privately discussed with his aides the possibility of preemptively issuing himself a pardon before he leaves office. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
Another one of President Trump's cabinet secretaries resigned due to yesterday's riot at the Capitol. Tonight, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos quit. In her letter to the president, she said his role in spurring the violence was the inflection point in her decision. DeVos is the second cabinet member to resign today, following Secretary Elaine Chao. A number of lower-level officials also resigned, including former Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go.
Some of the rioters who participated in yesterday's Capitol breach are now being fired from their jobs for their actions after being caught on video or in pictures. Our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo spoke to a legal analyst who explains there can be consequences and employers do have rights to fire those employees.
And they just breached the Capitol again.
The FBI is now asking for the public's help to identify the rioters at the Capitol on Wednesday. But aside from criminal consequences, several that participated are now being fired from their jobs. The forced entry into the building captured on video and in pictures posted to social media, helping identify those individuals.
In the internet, nothing is ever fully erased. Once it's up there, particularly if it's retweeted by others, it has a a permanent life.
Dan Eaton is a legal analyst. He says an employer can't fire someone for simply expressing political views, but can the moment potential criminal action is involved.
If they've engaged in unlawful conduct, it's going to be very hard for someone in the private workplace to pretend that they can't be fired.
The same goes for social media. Eaton says terminating someone for supporting or criticizing the president isn't likely, but for example, applauding or encouraging criminal action at the Capitol could have consequences.
An employee is going to end up being more vulnerable for praising conduct that you could say is criminal in nature.
Ultimately, it's up to the employer to make the decision, but if it borders on criminal, Eaton says the termination can likely hold up in court.
Think before you move. If you're going to post something on social media, that sounds great, but it's all fun and games until someone gets caught.
Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
Today, police in Washington, D.C. released photos of over 36 Trump supporters they say stormed the Capitol building. Images include a man identified by media as Jake Angeli, a 32-year-old QAnon loyalist known in right-wing circles as Q Shaman. And police say the pictured protesters are sought for unlawful entry into the historic building.
Police are now investigating the shooting of a San Diego woman who was shot and killed by an officer during the storming of the Capitol. Therese Garnier from our media partners at Newsy shows the videos Ashley Babbitt posted leading up to yesterday's protest and riot.
Newsy has confirmed the rioter that was shot by Capitol Police was indeed a former member of the D.C. National Guard. Ashley Babbitt was shot and killed while breaking into the very buildings she had promised previously to protect.
I am so sick of these politicians in this goddamn state. I can't take it anymore.
Ashley Babbitt traveled from her home in California to attend the protest.
Guys!
During the riot, the 35-year-old is seen with a mob as they tried to rush through a barricaded door inside the Capitol building. She's seen trying to move through a broken window. Newsy is pausing this video before Capitol Police fired the fatal shot. Babbitt posted frequently on social media describing herself as a veteran and avid supporter of President Trump.
I'm telling you right now, I'm putting all you on notice. Every single one of you politicians in California, Gavin Newsom, Jerry Brown, Maxine Waters, Duncan Hunter, what the hell are you doing?
In some posts, she appeared to support the QAnon conspiracy theory. Tuesday, she tweeted, "Nothing will stop us. They can try and try and try. But the storm is here, and it is descending upon D.C. in less than 24 hours. Dark to light." It was a stunning turn for Babbitt. Newsy confirms she served in the 113th D.C. National Guard Security Forces Squadron until 2015. She's also an Air Force veteran. The Guard even profiled her in this 2014 article, saying as a military cop she deployed a total of 8 times and even became a mentor to younger airmen deploying for the first time downrange. The Washington, D.C. police chief says that the incident is under investigation. However, the officer that shot her has been put on leave, which is standard protocol. Therese Garnier, Newsy, the Capitol.
New at 11 o'clock. Research suggests that Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine protects against the new variants popping up around the globe. 2 highly contagious variants are now making the rounds. The first appeared in the UK and the other in South Africa. Both share a common mutation. Pfizer says laboratory testing shows that this mutation doesn't block its vaccine.
California has set a 2-day record for coronavirus deaths. 1,042 Californians have passed away from COVID over the last 2 days. That breaks the previous record set at the end of December. California's overall death toll since the start of the pandemic now stands at 28,000. Here in San Diego, another 47 people have lost their lives from COVID, bringing our total to 1,700. There were also another 3,800 cases today, bringing that total to 180,000. There are only 40 available staffed ICU beds left in the county.
An undercover sting operation leads to the arrest of a North County massage therapist. Police say that he has inappropriately touched 3 women during massages. As ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura tells us, police worry there could be more.
Escondido police released this picture of Patrick Stone, accused and arrested of sexual battery. Police say he operates Stone Medical Group, a massage therapy studio in Escondido, located on the 1200 block of East Pennsylvania Street. Police say they started investigating Stone on December 23rd after the first victim contacted them.
It was originally supposed to be like an hour-long massage. The massage went longer than normal, and during the course of the massage, he ended up touching her inappropriately.
A second woman contacted Escondido police Wednesday. She made similar allegations against Stone. On Thursday, officers set up a sting operation.
We had one of our female detectives book a massage with him today, obviously not letting on who we were. And so she went in there and basically started getting a massage. And when he started to do, the similar things, touching her inappropriately, she was able to identify herself as a police detective, and we went in and were able to make an arrest.
Police worry Stone may have victimized others and are asking them to come forward.
We want to be able to hold this guy accountable if he's victimized, multiple people. Plus it would also help as far as being able to revoke his license. Obviously that would be a concern, so there's no repeat offenses, going down the road.
Police say Stone will be booked into Vista Detention Center. Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.